White people say we have to get these niggas from out of tune with nature in order to conquer them. So instead of dealing with the sun, they created the Son of God. Even in the Bible, Psalms 83, I believe, it says, our Lord God is the sun and shield. Look that verse up. It might be Psalms 83. I ain't had to recite it in a minute, but look it up. It says, our Lord God is the sun and shield. Holy in Greek means helios, which means sun. Bible in Greek means biblios, which means book. The Holy Bible is actually about the sun. It's called the sun book. Jesus is the sun, and the 12 disciples are the 12 zodiacs. So what they did was they had to wane black people off the actual sun, okay? And then put us, describe us to a fictitious deity which looked like them. So instead of us acknowledging and living in tune with nature, they forced us to a psyche to where we began to worship spiritually instead of being synchronized with nature spiritually. And the image that they gave us to worship was not only them, but every time you see Jesus Christ, he got the sun behind his head because he's blocking the sun. So black people's path to greatness is that sun. Okay, we have the same biochemical makeup as plants. The only difference in our blood versus, the only difference in our chemical makeup is we have iron in our blood and plants have magnesium. If you switch the magnesium and iron with black people specifically and plants, we would then turn green and have chlorophyll, and plants will have the neuromelanin that we have. So Venom off Spider-Man, the symbiote suit is actually symbolic to the intellectual properties of neuromelanin that black people possess. Our skin, our body actually has intelligence and is able to actually think and react on its own. That's why we have the best agility, the best reflexes, etc. So you can actually, this is why it's also harder for us to get off drugs. So because when we do drugs, our body actually intellectually internalizes the chemical response, and on top of us psychologically being addicted, we become biochemically addicted as well via the melanin, because our bodies are intelligent and think for itself. And if we educate our bodies to crave something, it will then crave that substance. So this is why it's actually biochemically harder for black people to get off drugs. Go look this up. It's facts and the statistics behind everything I'm saying. And so that being said, continuing on, they took Jesus, white Jesus, and they put white Jesus in between you, which is over here, and the sun, which is over here. So Jesus is the character version of sunblock. So you got sunscreen that go on your skin to block out the beautiful rays of the sun. They say harmful, but they're not harmful to us. When they say the rays of the sun is harmful to who? So with that being said, they got sunscreen to block out the alleged harmful rays of the sun, sunglasses to block out the alleged harmful rays of the sun, and then they got Jesus Christ to block out the beautiful spiritual rays of the sun. So when you say what was black people's religion before, we were conquered. I don't even want to say conquered, because we not conquered. Before we was psychologically finessed by colonizers, there was no religion. We were master mathematicians. We were master astrologists. We were master scientists when it came to the cosmos and the universe and being one with nature. We allow a group of entities who are artificially created and outside of that construct to come in and reconstruct our reality predicated upon a fictitious paradigm which suits them being at the highest platform within this hierarchy. So if you want to really get back to your original self, look up in that sky and get your head out that book. See, the stars tell you what time of day it is. The position of the planets tell you what time of day it is. The position of the celestial bodies tell you what's north, east, south, and west. See, the Bible don't tell you that. If you lost in the woods, the Bible don't tell you how to get home. The position of the sun tells you that. See? And so that being said, the heavens are the celestial bodies, not some spiritual place that you think you go when you die to be with some white man who can't even live under the sun. How Jesus is the son of God and he can't even live under the goddamn sun? How does that work? And so this video right here, family, was just a brief description and breakdown to let y'all know where we were psychologically before you allow colonizers to colonize your mind. And so that being said, when you are planning on doing bullshit and you control the media to disperse to the public, in which is going to be the victims of your bullshit, then of course it looks like the media is divine or the books are divine when the bullshit actually take place, because the sheeple are not able to see the forest behind the trees. And so with that being said, do not disrespect the greatness and the intelligence of our ancestors, okay? Especially to take them off the throne and put a bitch-ass Jesus on his seat who don't even belong in the conversation. And so that being said, black civilization, I have to say this, because no other race on the planet Earth have been here more than 6,000 years. We've been here so long, it ain't no there's not a proper number. And so that being said, black civilizations around the world, whether it was the Egyptians, because a lot of y'all don't know, Egypt was a global empire. It was not just in Egypt. It spread out all the way to Japan, and it was over here in the Americas as well. But getting off Egypt, the motherfucking Incas, the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Naga Kushites, the motherfucking Naga the Nagakushites in Japan, and all of the rest of the dominating and fluctuating and prosperous black civilizations, the head of their spiritual systems were the study of the heavens, aka the celestial bodies. Do not get it confused, do not get it twisted, and do not get it fucked up. It is not until other races of people were introduced to this planet Earth via genetic engineering by the hands of extraterrestrials that they began to distort the original spiritual system and sciences of black people who were and are still to this day the original human beings via descendants of the mitochondrial Eve gene. And so that being said, I hope that this video has done nothing else but answer the question that you all continue to ask me. If Jesus ain't real, if Muhammad ain't real, if Moses ain't real, and monotheism, none of that shit is real, then what were we doing before this was introduced? I hope that I just reintroduced to you what it is that you were doing before these colonized introduced to you what it is that you should stay away from. And with that being said, family, I love y'all. Peace.